Like everything in life, there's an upside and a downside to every decision that we make. What's going on, guys? My name is Zachary Thomas and I live in my car. I've been living in my car for about 3.5 months, probably almost 4 months now. By no means am I an expert in the subject, nor have experienced everything that vehicle dwellers have experienced. I wanted to go into the kind of downside to living in a vehicle. All of these are things that either I have dealt with or I've seen other people who are vehicle dwellers deal with. I think we all experience this at some point. Some of them I haven't experienced or haven't experienced the full magnitude of them. Still, it's something to keep in mind whenever you're considering living this lifestyle. So the first thing is, whenever you're living this lifestyle, especially if you are by yourself, solo traveling, which a lot of vehicle dwellers do. There are a few couples and even some families that do this, but for the most part, it is solo travel. It is by yourself. And sometimes you will start to get very lonely being out on the road, being in your vehicle by yourself. Now, this is something that a lot of people deal with, even the people who live in apartments who don't live this lifestyle. The best thing that I can advise you do if you are feeling lonely is to either reach out to family, friends, try to make friends with other vehicle dwellers. It's a very welcoming community. Try to reach out to other people who are living the same lifestyle as you are, and somebody who is going to understand where you're coming from, somebody who is experiencing the same thing as you are. It really helps to make friends with other like-minded people, and that way you don't feel so alone. You don't feel so crazy for wanting to live this way, and you don't feel so outcasted. Number two, and this is for anybody who is living this lifestyle and posting their life on social media, pretty much anybody who does anything on social media at this point in time. You're going to get a lot of people who are going to tell you to stop being lazy, go get a job. People telling you that you are just despicable, just a waste of space. You're going to get a lot of people who are going to comment on your post telling you all kinds of things. Especially if you are a female, you will get a mass amount of disgusting comments from people. And you need to have the mental fortitude to kind of deal with that. There's always the options to block comments like that, to filter out those comments. And that absolutely is an option, especially if you are a female. I do recommend doing that because it's overwhelming for me reading them. Like I can't imagine being the person who they're written about. But overall, I think you just have to have thick skin. On social media, you just have to have thick skin to deal with those kinds of comments, to understand that what you're doing is what you want to do, and nobody else should be able to tell you not to, because at the end of the day, your life is your life and you're free to live it however you choose to live it. There's nobody in the world that can tell you that you are wrong for doing the things that you do, or that you should do something else. They're welcome to advise you, of course. I always welcome advice, but you cannot tell me how to live my life. And at the end of the day, my decisions are my decisions. They're not your decisions. And that's just something that I think everybody who lives this lifestyle deals with at a certain point in their social media journey. I see a lot more supportive comments on the more popular videos, but I'm sure there's some negativity in there somewhere deep down in the bottom. I think the more holistic comments kind of float to the top, which is very nice, which can also lead to a false impression of how people are going to be received whenever they post their first video or their first TikTok or anything dealing with this kind of lifestyle. You're not really prepared for the negative comments, and I just wanted to mention that so that you are a little bit more prepared. The third thing is absolutely mental health. Living in a car, it kind of ties together to my other 2 points. Living in a vehicle, you have to take care of your mental health. You have to not dwell on the negativity that you may feel, and make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you're reaching out to the people you care about, people who care about you, and people who are there to support you. Have yourself a support group, somebody that you can turn to whenever you may be feeling down, whenever you may be feeling overwhelmed by this lifestyle, because it can be overwhelming. It can be very lonely, very stressful as well, because you're living in a vehicle, you're traveling all the time, you're constantly moving around. Relationships are hard to build. Like dating in general is hard, but in a car or a vehicle, it is very, very hard to have any kind of intimate relationships with a lot of people, or to build roots somewhere. It's hard to do. It's near impossible whenever you're traveling around all the time. And your mental health is extremely important. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure that you're reaching out. Like I said, reach out to your family and friends, anybody who you trust, anybody who is there to support you. If you don't have anybody, look into van life Facebook pages, any kind of communities. Look into like the bigger creators. Check their I know there's Discords out there that these people have. I know there's a bunch of people out there who are ready to support. And if you're feeling lost, if you're feeling lonely, if you just need friends, reach out to anybody, including me. Reach out, and we can absolutely be friends, and I'll be there for you, you know, however much I can be. But just make sure that you're taking care of yourself before you jump into this lifestyle. Make sure you do a lot of research. Make sure you plan everything. Make sure you're prepared to live this lifestyle. If you have never stayed in a vehicle before, take a trip out of town and stay in your car for a couple nights or something like that. Or even go outside of your current home and stay in your car, stay in a vehicle, and see if you like it. See if it's comfortable for you, and go from there. If you enjoy it, if you enjoy the lifestyle, then more power to you. But it's not for everybody. If it's not for you, don't force yourself to make it for you. You know, if you just don't enjoy it, then don't do it, you know? You should always look for the things that you enjoy doing, and don't try to force yourself into a trendy thing because it's cool to do it. If it looks interesting, then absolutely give it a shot. That's how I got started. I was fascinated by the lifestyle. I did a lot of research, a lot of videos, and just surrounded myself with the information of it. And then I tried it. I tried sleeping in my car, and I liked it. I liked being in my own little space and being able to just leave, go places, go visit people, go see a bunch of sites that I may not have ever seen had I not been living this lifestyle. And I am incredibly thankful to my past self for finally taking that shot, taking that leap, and doing it. But with all that being said, don't let this deter you from living this lifestyle. If you want to, if you feel the need, or feel if you feel pulled towards living this lifestyle, absolutely try it. This isn't meant to turn you away from it. Just make sure that you know what you're getting into. Make sure that you test it out. Make sure you don't get overwhelmed and in over your head. Because at the end of the day, the most important part in this entire world is you. You are the most important part in your world, and make sure you take care of you. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video.